Asta, the poor peasant boy abandoned by his parents at a church in the poorest village of his nation, born with no magic in a world where magic is everything, until one day he gains an anti-magic sword, finally giving him some power in this world. Deku, a boy born into a world where 80% of the population has quirks, yet doesn't have one himself. His passion to become a hero eventually earns him a power when the number one hero passes it down to him, finally giving him power in this world. Now the question I want to try and answer in this video is, who deserves their power more, Asta or Deku? Welcome back to Boku No Hero, where I upload weekly Black Clover content as well as My Hero Academia and other anime. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please do leave a like and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload a video. Now before I go through and analyze each of these character scenarios and how they got their power, but while I do believe one will be more deserving than the other, I do believe both these characters earned and deserved their powers. Asta deserved and earned the 5-leaf clover grimoire, while Deku deserved and earned the respect from All Might, which in turn granted him the power one for all. Now let's get into this analysis and discuss both scenarios. So first, let's start with Asta. We don't know where Asta was born, but he was abandoned at a church in Hajj Village shortly after he was born. Hajj Village is the most poor town in the Clover Kingdom. The town is filled with many peasants, Asta being one of them. He lived in the church with other orphans whom he calls his siblings and had to share a room with all of them. He lived a very poor life. In the Black Clover world, everyone can use their mana to create magic, which is used in battle, but also in any day-to-day situations like agriculture or the average jobs. This makes mana an important thing, since it is so ingrained into society. But Asta doesn't have any mana, so he can't use magic, therefore Asta is very isolated. He's the only person in the Clover Kingdom, and like the entire Black Clover universe, that doesn't have any mana. Asta becomes the main underdog, but he doesn't ever give up. He trains his body physically every single day in anticipation for his mana to finally come to him. In fact, he trains himself so hard that he's so fast that people believe he uses magic to aid his speed. He believed he would one day become the Wizard King, and he really set out and developed a training regimen that made him the second most powerful person physically in all of Black Clover. But even on the fateful Grimoire Award ceremony, where Asta is the only one that doesn't receive his Grimoire, he doesn't give up. He'll keep pushing on until one day he will receive it, which he does minutes after the ceremony, when his foster brother Yuno is attacked by Revji, a rogue magic knight. Asta jumps in and attempts to save him. Despite Asta being a little difficult for Revji because of how physically strong and fast he was, Revji would entrap him in his chain magic and would hold him down, berating him for his lack of magic. But with Yuno cheering him on, the Grimoire would finally pick him, granting Asta an anti-magic sword, the Demon Slayer sword, as its official name, as to which he saved Yuno with by defeating Revji. Now we don't know much about Grimoires except for that they do choose the user, so for whatever reason, maybe Asta's resolve or his lack of mana, or both, the Grimoire did choose Asta, so he might have actually earned it. Now on to Deku. Deku was born into a family where both of his parents had quirks, but he didn't. His father left his family early on, so he grew up with his mother. He still had a pretty stable home life from what we can gather, even though he was raised by a single mom. While Deku didn't have a quirk, he wasn't the only one like Asta. Deku had 20% of the world on his side, and in the My Hero Academia universe, there is far less discrimination against people who don't have quirks. Deku still could have lived a normal life if he had never ever gotten one for all. While I do see many people lambaste Deku for not putting much effort towards being a hero, that isn't the full story here. Sure, Deku didn't work out his body physically like he should have, but Deku became a very tactically minded person as he surveyed nearly every hero he watched very in depth. He also wrote down so much in his book, and he shows his tactical battle behavior throughout the series. The fateful day for Deku is when he jumped in to save Bakugo from the sludge monster. Many pro heroes were watching because they didn't think they could do anything to help. Even All Might, the number one hero, just watched because he was too tired and depraved from his hero form. But Deku ran in anyways. He used his superior mind and used his backpack as a distraction, hitting the sludge monster in the eye. While he himself wasn't able to defeat the monster, he bought Bakugo enough time, and this inspired All Might to risk it all. as he caused them to remember what being a hero was. This led to All Might passing down the quirk one for all down to Deku. This shows that Deku, while he might have verbally given up and shown that he'd given up, he didn't give up in his heart, because when push came to shove, he walked the walk and he became a hero. So there are interesting parallels into how Deku and Asta got their powers. Both rushed in, powerless against powered villains, to save their friend or rival. While they are somewhat parallels, there are also plenty of differences too. For example, Asta was pretty much going solo against Revchi. There were no magic knights just sitting around watching Revchi do this to Yuno. Okay, so the two shonen protagonists both worked hard, but who worked harder, who deserved it more, who earned it more? While you can say they both worked hard, or as hard, in different aspects, Deku with tactical informational training, and Asta with speed and strength training. But what really irks me with Deku is that he didn't do any sort of physical training when he was young. I mean, really, what 14-year-old kid doesn't do a bunch of push-ups or sit-ups at least? I mean, he could have gotten to weightlifting too, but nope, he just did all that tactical stuff. Asta, on the other hand, not only did a bunch of speed and strength training, but went up against the most powerful mage that matched his age, his rival and brother Yuno, and he directly tested the fruits of his training against his very powerful wind magic user. Asta pretty much did all he could do, especially with juggling all the chores he needed to do and helping take care of his foster siblings. Now this was already a close battle of the deserving, but I think the nail in the coffin here is a universe switch. Have Asta and Deku switch places. Prior to the power gains, and Deku is really nothing in the Black Clover universe. Meanwhile, Asta's speed and strength would be quirk-like in nature, and he could be a pro-hero in My Hero Academia likely just based on his superior genes of his speed and strength. Even after the power, Asta with One For All would be absolutely overpowered in My Hero Academia, while Deku, with the anti-magic sword, probably wouldn't even have the strength to lift it up, and the speed or strength or reaction time to be able to use this sword against others in self-defense or for offense. So Asta would pass both phases of this universe switch, and Deku would fail both pretty miserably. So overall, I have to say, while both Deku and Asta were deserving of their powers, I would say that Asta would be more deserving, especially based off the hardships each would go through without their powers. Asta would be the only person without magic in a bigoted world. Deku would have 20% of the world's population on his side. So, that's my thoughts, guys. But what do you guys think? Do you think Asta deserved it more? Do you think Izuku Midoriya or Deku deserved it more? Let me know what you think. If I got anything wrong, let me know. If I left anything out, let me know. I do think both deserve the powers, like I said before. Deku... People say Deku didn't do anything to try and become a hero. That's not true. Like I said, he became very tactically minded. He wrote down a bunch of quirks in his book and took a lot of notes. So he tried a different way to become a hero besides physical training. But if he had done physical training as well, it would have been a much closer of who deserved their power more. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload a Black Clover or My Hero Academia video. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...